Thank you so much for tuning into this show and being part of our journey. We have reached an incredible milestone of publishing 100 episodes. I'm excited that we were able to invite various experts to provide engaging conversations and share ways to have a powerful career and a passionate life. As we move forward into the next phase of the show, we're changing our name to The Provider's Edge. In the new show, we'll focus on how we can, as providers, leaders, and healthpreneurs, create the edge and efficiency without the overwhelm or high staff turnover. Did you know that fatigued workers lose 5.6 hours of productive time per week? Exhausted healthcare leaders and healthpreneurs are not a new thing. A recent study found that the average career burnout age is 32. How has this extreme overwhelm been affecting their clinical practices? American Express Open conducted a study which showed projects take, on average, 13% longer. Searching for another job doing work increased by 120%. This matches what we know now as the Great Resignation. The nation's quit rate reached a 20-year high last November. If we all leave the medical field, who would be left to take care of our family and ourselves? Gaining psychological growth to cope with the challenges of running their clinics and the world can be easier than people realize. Private practice owners, it's time to change the status quo of the medical delivery system. We cannot continue this way. My name is Sabrina Rumbach, a cardiothoracic surgery PA and expert in neuroscience, psychology, and public health. 6 years ago, I was in your shoes, working 80-plus hours per week, putting out fires every day, and my to-do list never ended. I literally took myself to the bottom before I had the epiphany that you are all having right now. I spent the last 6 years mastering performance science. With the right strategies, I cut my clinical hours by 40% and increased profit by 50%. I then helped practice leaders around the world transform their practices to be more profitable and gain back a day per week. The free time they desperately want so they can have not only the lives that they want, but also provide their patients the care that they need. If you listen to any other episodes of our show, have you found at least one thing that's relatable to you? Many practitioners feel alone in their journey building their private practices. Entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. On the flip side, patients also want to relate to their providers and see their authentic sides. What better way can you share your story with others than sharing them yourself? Therefore, one of the new directions in our next series, I would love to invite you, the healthcare practice owner, to be featured as our next practice owner hot seat speaker. We will have a conversation about your best practices for the roadblocks you had to overcome building your practice. Not only can you gain visibility for your clinic, but also encourage other healthcare providers like you to become efficient and more profitable running their own practices. No speaking experience or preparation needed. Impart us with your amazing journey to inspire others. Sign up at sabrinarumbach.com/interview and become our next guest speaker. Just to give you a sneak peek, in our first episode of The Provider's Edge, I interviewed Patty Curtis, a PA who is also an executive director and associate CMIO for Mount Sinai Health System. Patty is responsible for leading the development and implementation of business-aligned IT services to support population health activities for all populations, including commercial, Medicare, and Medicaid patients. We spoke about,
we all want to take care of people, but I actually really did in very many different ways. Medicine, I thought, was one of the best ways that I could just really be a caregiver a provider. And I've always felt that way. I mean, if you ask my family, they'll say I was, 7 years old and I wanted to, and for whatever reason, just take care of others. And so it was a very natural thing for me. And then I had younger brothers and sisters, so that was just a very natural way for me to continue. I wanted to care for, obviously, my family, my mom growing up in New York, and my mom not speaking the language. I always felt responsible for her. So that responsibility really kind of extended to just taking care of others that were in the same situation as I, basically saw myself growing up. So it was just a natural extension to go into medicine.
Yeah, and I think for many of us who weren't born in this country or even born with a family member who are not entirely speaking the language, I also had a similar experience where you become the translator, you become the people they go back to. And when you are working as a clinician, somehow they think magically we just know everything, right? And then we take on the sense of responsibility for the whole family to coordinate care. And half the time, it is complicated. Even we're in this field, we don't know every single little details of how to even get to the right people, right? And even for us who are in hospital clinical practices, when we wanted to ask for that specialty, you still sometimes have to jump through hoops, but we understand it is what it is. The main goal is getting that patient whatever that person needs. So it's okay for us to be on call, be on the phone waiting for 20 minutes just so we can speak to someone. Stay tuned for June 1st to hear the rest of our discussion on our first episode on the Provider's Edge. If you're ready to rewrite the rules for your own practice so you can have more time off, a great team, and more income while delivering better patient care, then join us for inspiring interviews with thought leaders in the medical industry. Each week, we discuss improvements to operational efficiency, reducing provider fatigue, increasing access to meet patient expectations, and introducing the next generation of healthcare innovation. This is your defining moment to be a disruptor in healthcare. Welcome to the Provider's Edge. Thank you for joining me for our 100th episode celebration. You're listening to me right now. Odds are you're frustrated by how healthcare practices are running today. I'm with you. I'm looking to change the conversation that we're having in the healthcare industry. It starts with me, and it starts with you. I want to connect with you and get to know your struggles and success as a healthcare leader. Visit sabrinarumback.com/connect, where you can send me a direct message. If you, like me, prefer speaking, then you can record a voice note on the page. Additionally, I can get you an exclusive invitation to one of my monthly collaboration think tanks that are limited to 30 healthcare disruptors. Networking, when done right, is your shortest path to success. Now, open a browser on your phone, type in sabrinarumback.com/connect, and let's continue the conversation.
She really gets the conversation. She understands. She's an incredible listener. We were talking about worthiness, and she really understands the concept of it, how it affects people in their businesses, in their clinics, in their daily life, in their relationships. So I just want to encourage you to, one, listen to our show, but to jump on board and start listening to this woman, because she has so much insight and wisdom that you don't want to miss out.
Hi, this is Emmanuel Anthony, human behavioral speaker, researcher, writer, teacher, author, and consultant. I just had the amazing opportunity to connect with Sabrina on what I think is amongst one of the most professional podcasts that I've been on. Not only is her professionalism very high, but her understanding and her knowledge as well. Working with podcasters, sometimes I'm just being interviewed, which is perfectly fine because I'm there to share my knowledge. But this is one occasion where I can definitely say that the person that I was communicating with not only was receptive and understanding to the concepts that we were communicating in terms of business and mindset and growth, but she also was able to elaborate and expand on those concepts. Now, I've been doing this for 11 years. I've been on a lot of podcasts. I've spoken to a lot of people with a wealth of knowledge. It was very, very fulfilling and very nice to be able to communicate with somebody that not only had a plethora of knowledge, but could share that in a bite-sized and very easily understandable kind of way. Because it doesn't matter what kind of knowledge a person has, if they can't communicate it to you.
I've been speaking for the last 10, 15 years in hundreds of college campuses. But to be able to speak to a peer, someone who I can see eye to eye with on the same level, it becomes a conversation. I'm not talking to an audience, I'm talking to a friend or someone that I felt like I should have met 10, 15 years ago, but better late than never. Here I am right now to be able to just know that I'm not alone in my thoughts, to know that there are other people out there who have reached the similar conclusions that I have with completely wayward and different life paths, to know that there are people like us out there who believe that you can do not just option A or option B, but to do both. You can have both, that you can have cake and eat it too without hurting other people. There's an ethical ability that one may have when they channel their empathy to reach people and to have them go far together.
I'm Christine Nguyen. I'm a family physician and the founder of the White Coat Romance, the dating app in development for healthcare professionals and the larger community of white coat professionals. And I had the honor of being a guest on the Powerful and Passionate Healthcare Professionals podcast, as hosted by the wonderful and lovely Sabrina Renbrack, whom is so empowering. I love her energy. I love all the work that she's doing to support healthcare professionals. And we had just a blast, like talking about all the things that are relevant in our community and all the work that we're doing. And I love listening to all of her podcasts and all the guests that she's interviewing and all the great work that they're doing. And it's just so inspiring. Her energy is infectious. And I love that she is constantly uplifting this community. So I encourage that everybody go out there and go check out her podcast. I would go ahead and binge on all the episodes like I did, and you won't regret it.